everyone, welcome back to the layout. This week, going to take scenery another step further. Going to start adding bushes and trees and rock forms, things of that nature, just to kind of make this scene a little more 3D. One thing I've learned over the few years of modeling and working on this layout is taking the ground foam and the landforms, taking that terrain to the next level and making it three-dimensional, making it a little bit more believable. So I'm going to use some common products. I'll show those throughout just to kind of show you as a reference point what I use throughout this process. And I attack it, various different things. I found that the more variety of colors and textures you use, you get a little bit better of a result, in my opinion. Certainly not a model railroading expert or anything, but just wanted to kind of share what I do. That's what I like to do on this channel. Not necessarily tell you, hey, this is how you do it, but kind of show you, hey, this is how I do it. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two. So gonna start with bushes. I do have a couple behind that car there that I started, and then I thought, shoot, I better do an intro. So I'm gonna be using some just clump foliage to start, and then we will take the 3D levels from there. So let's get started. Okay guys, got some clump foliage down on these couple of landforms here, a little bit along the edge there, and then other side of the tracks here, and then up along that way. I'm gonna keep working my way up, including that hill behind the scenic divider there to kind of work that in, but I gotta put some rocks in before I start doing the clump foliage there. So this is just, Woodland Scenics clump foliage. I get a couple of different colors. I have the, I just put them in Ziploc bags. I have the medium green and the light green, just kind of work those in. Alternating colors, just kind of going for it. And then because I have a fall layout, I do that year round. I use the fall color lichen, which I just, again, put in a little Ziploc bag here. And I'm down towards the end of it. And what's really cool about that is you can kind of grind it up really small. You could put it in a food processor or a blender if you wanted, but I'm just kind of towards the end of it, and it's pretty small pieces. So just kind of feather that in to give it a little bit of depth. Next, I am going to be, like I said, working on some rocks on that hill back there behind the divider. More clump foliage around that, some lichen as well, and then we'll start with the next level after that. So more to come shortly. Alrighty, everyone, got some rock forms on that hillside there with a little bit of lichen and clump foliage around that, and also worked my way back towards where the main lines meet back up again, just filling in, kind of making it up as I go. I think that this area as a whole is now ready for that next level of detail. Real quick, as it makes its way into the screen, just wanted to show you what I use for the rock forms. You can get this anywhere. This is just from Woodland Scenics, I believe. Just their rock molds. Mix up plaster and pour it in there. You'll see I use super strength plaster. You do not need that. The only reason I have it is left over from the river pour I did pre-YouTube days. It's just the plaster I had left, and it works just fine. I mixed it up to the instructions, poured in the mold, let it harden up. And then for the colors, I just use acrylic paints and I water them down to get them nice and runny, and kind of do one color at a time, spread it across, let it dry. I think I started with like a tan, then I came back with a little bit of a gray, then I did a little bit of black at the end. Again, just letting each layer dry. That's how I did. So pretty easy. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. I've used that all over the layout, and I like the results that come out. So that's what I did there. The next level is one of my favorite products to use. You know, this is not a product review channel or anything like that, but I just like to show you what I'm using. And what I'm going to be using is Supertrees. These are not new, you know, they've been around, but just wanted to let you know that that's what I use. I may do a video on how I do it, just kind of some things I learned. There are, you know, already are videos on that, but in case you're interested, I may do something like that as I make them, but we will see. Basically, you know, I'm going to use all of the material in here, and the cool part about it is you get a lot of bushes left over, and that's kind of what I come back in and do. You know, yeah, there's going to be trees in here, but along the edges I like to mix in those bushes because they're a little bit more three-dimensional than the clump foliage and the lichen, so it just kind of gives it a little bit of depth to it. So that is coming next as I go make those for the layout. Okay guys, wanted to kind of do an in-progress shot here. Still more trees being made, but I did a couple of batches here, probably looking at around 40 to 45 trees or so, all different sizes. Figured I would start, you know, back here. That way, you know, anything up here I'm reaching over, I'm not going to knock over. I am probably going to keep these trees shorter because I have a turnout there and a turnout there that I'm reaching to manually flip. So don't want to have that too high, but some taller trees here. Again, it's fall, maybe earlier fall. I still have lots of green in there, you know, just different shades of green and whatnot. I did mention I wanted to maybe do a video on Supertrees. Well, it was a beautiful weekend. Was all set up to shoot, and everybody's kids are outside, including mine, which is great. We want that, right? We want kids outside. You know, they're just making noise and the camera's picking it all up because Supertrees inside the house for me, a big no-no, just way too messy. But not only that, you got guys with chainsaws and leaf blowers and all sorts of madness going on, and I thought this just isn't going to work this time, so maybe another time on that. But if you wonder how I do it, feel free to ask in the comments. I don't do anything crazy. I just have a couple of tips, and I don't know, like to share. If you're interested or haven't used that product and maybe need a little bit more info before you try, so feel free to drop those in the comments. So yeah, in progress. These are about 2 batches of trees. I can do about 20 to 25 at a time. I have another round currently drying outside on my deck. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing, you know, this side of this hill. I am going to have to do, you know, the other side back here, but that's going to be in another update. We don't go behind this backdrop or divider very often, and it's because I don't really like it. That might be the next project I work on here, but the next round of trees and bushes are just going to be kind of on these front hills right here. Again, going to keep it low just because of reaching. I mean, you look at these little trees and shrubs here, you know, just kind of filling it in to make it look a little overgrown. So, but yeah, this part in the back on this side is pretty much done. Might be filling in some bushes here and there as well, but kind of get the idea with the rock forms and the lichen and, you know, the clump foliage. You just keep taking steps and make it more three-dimensional. So I will do one more segment after this when I have these front 2 hills covered. Okay, as promised, I have these little hills here covered with trees. That last batch I was working on dried up, and I just planted these. So you might see some glue, you know, here and there kind of sticking through still, but that'll dry up nice and clear overnight. Still, a scene's never 100% done, right? I mean, always can come back and add some more details, but I think for the most part, I think this part here is ready to go. I showed you back there earlier Didn't do any additional work there yet. Like I said, the other side of the hill is going to be another video at some point. But yeah, these two hills I think turned out nicely. Let me get a little lower here just to give you an idea, you know, kind of track level what you're looking at here. Kind of separates the scene from from Mill Valley Motors. You know, wanted a little bit of a scene break there. I think it accomplishes that. You know, gives you an idea what you're looking at here. So I think it turned out pretty good. Again, like I said, the scene is never fully complete. I'm still working on things around the building, still working on signs, all that good stuff, but it is certainly coming along. So again, I appreciate everybody that watches, everybody following along. I mean, really, it's hard to believe. Just a couple of months ago, there was a hill here. I had a little loop of track for a little steam engine I would toy around with. Had really sharp curves going through here. Performance just wasn't the best. There were no operational capabilities. We have that now. Just brings a little more life to the railroad, I think. Gives it a purpose, gives it a meaning, rather than just going around in circles, which is fine, and I enjoy that. We love just turning on the trains and watching them go, but I don't know, me and my son down here, he likes to take the two switches up that direction. I take these two guys here, and we just switch out the facility all the time, so we love it. And adding the scenery around it takes it to another level, so we're really happy with the way it's looking. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. More videos to come, of course. I might go to a different part of the layout now. We've been here for a while, and you know, those of you that have been following along, you know, can document the process, but we might go to a different spot here just to switch it up a little bit. We'll see. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you know, please do so. I think it's been a pretty fun journey so far. You know, certainly more to come, so I encourage you to subscribe to see what might be coming in the future. Also check out the layout updates playlist on my channel. That kind of takes us from when, you know, I brought a question up to the viewers, to, you know, you guys, just to say, hey, what should I do with this area? And you guys really helped me. I would have never come to this idea without, you know, the community and camaraderie that we have built. So that is greatly appreciated. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys always help with that as well, helping me, you know, hey, did you think about this detail or that sign or anything? And I really do appreciate that, because it's hard to think of everything. It really is. So, but it's coming along for sure. And I really appreciate everybody that's following along. So I have rambled enough. I have showed you enough, I believe. So for this episode, we're going to call it quits. This is Jake from the Mill Valley Sub. We will see you next time.